We are now almost 3 hours away from the first presidential debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. The stakes are high, as many who are undecided or uncommitted will search for a clear message, what they want to hear from each candidate to make their choice. Well, I sat down with 7 News Detroit editorial director Chuck Stokes for some perspective on the night, and particularly Michigan's role. It's a critical night.
It's a critical night. It's the Super Bowl of politics. The first time that you had a former president going up against the vice president, the sitting vice president of the United States.
And with the talk of the microphone exchange, what do you think the politics was there?
That was established when Joe Biden was debating Trump. And I'm sure that the Biden people were worried about Donald Trump, the bombastic Donald Trump, stepping in on Joe Biden talking at that particular time, because that had happened in a previous debate. And so they were really conscious of that. But this is a different candidate. And Kamala Harris, who has shown that she can go toe to toe in those type of debates, very quick on her feet, they wanted the mics to be open because they thought that might show a side of Donald Trump that maybe would not be good for the public. Her strength is the fact that she has stood up in many courtrooms and she has argued her case, and she deals with facts, because as a lawyer you have to present those facts before a jury or before a judge. That's a strength of hers. Where she has to be careful is trying to come off as too factual, too studied, because when people are watching a debate, what they want to do is, at the end of that debate, regardless of what issues are talked about and where the candidates stand, it's sort of like, how do I feel about that person? Is that the person I want to represent me in the White House? And it's sort of like someone said one time, who would you like to go golfing with more at the end of a debate? And for many people, it comes down to something that's simplistic. How do I feel about that individual? Do I have a warm, confident feeling about them, or does that person scare me to death?
We've had a number of visits here, at least a half dozen. So with our state being crucial in the forefront of this, how do you see this playing out in Michigan?
I think what happens on stage in Philadelphia tonight could very well make a huge difference for one candidate or the other, and how Michiganders view that candidate. We are a purple state, a swing state. Yes, Democrats have control of the power structure in Michigan right now, but that's just now. You know, we've seen times when Republicans have controlled all the power here in Michigan. So we go back and forth. And Michiganders, they vote with their pocketbooks. They look at the economy. They look at the major issues. They look at world foreign affairs issues, all of which are at play in an extremely diverse state, which Michigan is. Right now, they're both within the margin of error, and it could go either way in this state. And we, along with Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, will probably decide this election.
Thank you, Chuck. And remember, you can catch all 90 minutes of the live debate beginning at 9 right here on 7.
Great work, partner. And Chuck is just a wealth of knowledge on politics.
It's always good to sit down and hear his perspective. He has the pulse on people, unbiased. So appreciate that.
Valuable. Thank you.